and welcome to part 2 of Danielle Jones's reading. Apologies about that first video cutting off so quick. I couldn't film more than an hour. Anyway, let's get into the second part. He who murdered women and children and was very predatory, and that's the feeling I was being given, is that he was he is predatory, towards particularly young girls. On the spirit box, so we'll go through the spirit box and words that I got then, and some may be really significant to someone, a friend or family. To me they wasn't really significant, but there was some bits. There was one particular bit that really was, and that was involved with the latest shooting of he's not the president now, is he, of Trump. So I'm just going to read these words off. So through the spirit box dictionary thing, I can't remember the proper title for it, I got the words moon, and moon did come up more than once, not only sort of with the words, but I kept seeing a big moon. Googled the dates that she went missing, and I don't think it was a full moon then. I think it was a waning moon. But anyway, the moon seems to be significant. I got the words letter, until, German. Now I feel this was someone that I've connected with before, and they were just coming through. And again, it can be multiple spirits coming through at the same time on these devices. Strong, foot, father, to collect, image. It was either minimum or minimum, because sometimes that's the only word that they can choose. But maybe she called her minimum, I don't know. I could just be making that part up or trying to make something of it. To hit, degree. This felt relevant. I highlighted this. Between, water, contact, face, well, for, throw, away. That made sense to the visuals and things that I was seeing. How, the solution, any, this, star, heal, fire, purpose, draw, real, it. That, it felt relevant to what I'd seen with the clown. Revelation. And at that point in the EVP, she was flicking her hair. She was doing this quite a lot. With her hair, and she would have her hair straightened. I might repeat this bit about her hair because I'm not sure if I'm including this in the whole thing, in the whole video. Yeah, she loved flicking her hair, and it was like her pride and joy, and she loved it straightened. She was showing me with straightened hair, whereas in the pictures, not all of them, but some of them she'd have curly hair or semi-curly. Words to introduce. More, of course, weight, case, interest, varied, bath, cat, courage, start, less, pure, problem, to contain. Tree, kitchen. Now it's interesting because here where I'm renting, they've made a shelving and they've got like a bit of a tree in the middle in the kitchen. So that was quite verifying for me that, there's actual connection through spirit rather than just random words coming out. This was the mind blown. Now this is on the was this on the 13th of September? Yeah, I think it was. Was it? Let me have a look. I think it was the 13th of September I got this. Either way, it still blew my mind. President, and I got place. President, to attempt, truth, however hard. But the president to attempt, again, if you've got lots coming in saying different bits, different words, it is going to give you that mishmash and not always make sense. But what happened? What happened? Not that I watched the news, but sometimes when you're clicking on a Google page, it comes up in, kind of the headline of things, on Facebook as well. I remember it coming up on something there. The attempted shooting of Trump. Mind blown. So I'm sure this was before it came out in the news or before it happened. I'm going to check out those dates and put them in there if I find them. And then the truth, however hard, kind of, for me, was a verifier of, it may be hard for people to hear these things, and it may be hard for the truth to come out, but you know, it's important, the truth, to have the truth, however difficult, you know, it is. I'm just putting my notes, and I will put the square box, but I'd drawn, and I couldn't remember why I'd drawn this box. Sometimes you just scribble, don't you, without realizing what you're drawing. And I'd drawn this box, and then I put by it the name John. So yeah, I will put that drawing in there. So this is the second session. It's not really the second session, but the second, because I started a long time ago, but the second session as in from the 13th of September. And it is the 15th of September at this point of the second reading. So just had a quick lunch, quick break before I start with part 2, the reading for Daniela. And just as I was opening up, I heard the song with the words "Just Dance." You know that song? It'll be okay, just dance, just dance. Anyway, oh excuse me, still, whew, it's really hot in this room today. So anyway, when I googled that later on, discovered it is in fact Lady Gaga's song, and I think the real lyrics is slightly different, but I was given it as, and the words "Just Dance." So, you know, so far I was getting Daniela dancing, so that could link into to that. And that song, after I googled it, came out in 2008, and I think it's 2002 or 3 she went missing. Again, I need to double check because my memory's terrible. So this is after, you know, she passed away, but or we assume she's passed away. We don't actually really know factually because nobody's been found, although he's been convicted of her murder. I have the feeling that she has, but there's always that chance. You can still connect in and get images and all sorts, but I feel that she has passed away. I don't feel that she's alive. Well, not alive on Earth anyway. And looking at my notes, you reminded me, this felt like Daniela was just warming up the session. She's like, come on, let's go. She was full of energy, and I think she needed this vibrancy and this, like, come on, we're gonna do this, because, you know, it's a difficult thing for her to remember and go through. And at the time, I remember feeling her emotions of sadness at times and anger at times. You know, when she revisits it. So she is wearing a black t-shirt and she's happy, and again it will come throughout the reading. I only ever see her in trousers. I didn't see her in like a skirt or a dress or even school uniform. I don't remember seeing her in a skirt, like in pictures or in my mind. So maybe she just preferred to wear trousers, was more comfortable. She may have had to wear a skirt for school. I know my daughter always wore trousers, whereas all the other girls were wearing skirts. But I've only seen her in trousers so far, so I don't know if that's symbolic to that's what she enjoyed to wear. I don't know. So as I'm beginning and I'm opening up this session, I am putting those silver sparkling boots again. I always put on like a white cloak of protection or a gold cloak. At this point I was putting on the gold one. Sometimes I put two on, I put white one on and a gold one. But these silver boots were being put on me. So again, I'm wearing these silver boots. As we go through the first door, so I go through many doors when I'm opening up into a reading, we walk out onto a stage and it's dark. I can't see a crowd, we're just on a stage, and it's like dark, and the audience bit, you know, is dark. So I can't see any people. There may be people there, but it's, at the moment, all I see is the stage and the darkness. And we're holding hands, and it's almost as if, you know, girl power, bringing back to the Spice Girls. We're doing this together, we're supporting each other, you know, through this moment of her remembering and relaying this information. It's like a team, really. Well, it is. She's giving me the information and helping me, and then I'm picking up on stuff, and then you've got the spiritual team. So it is like a whole big team thing going on, which is lovely. We take a bow together, and again, maybe she did like performing, even if she only did it in her bedroom privately. She may have secretly loved performing, but I just got this element of her, although I didn't feel she was a loud girl at all, I'm not getting that presence. I felt, not at least with other people she didn't know, I'm just getting this this side of her, this performing, wanting to perform side, or enjoying that. And then it turns to, we're under a spotlight on the stage, and I visualise some chairs there, and I'm trying to get her to sit on these comfy chairs, you know, like they're doing some interviews on stage, like podcasts and things, but she's having none of it. She doesn't want to sit down, she wants to stand up. She wants to stand up, and she wants to tell the whole world her story. Then I see printing kind of coming onto this black t-shirt that she's wearing, because before it was just a black t-shirt. Let me look at my notes to get it right. Stuart killed me, he hurt me. That makes more sense as well. So that was the words that were kind of appearing. And at that moment, she's sad and she's angry as she thinks about this, because an uncle and the feeling I get from her, and a big part of the sadness, not only obviously because it was so wrong, but you should feel safe with an uncle, you should trust them, and that's what she was giving there. Then I see the words creep again, because I think I got that earlier, and this time I'm seeing the word creepy. It wasn't creeper, it was creepy. Now this next bit, I am sure that when I did the first reading quite a few years back, that I picked up the same thing, or was given the same thing and information. I don't know what it means, but I'm just going to relay it. I was seeing Russian dolls. You know those, most of them are wooden. You probably can get them in plastic and all different materials, but I was seeing these Russian dolls, and they're like, they're painted on the outside, and you've got one inside of the other. And I see her, and she's taking off the top and then getting the next one out, and then she's taking off that one, and then she was getting the next one out, and it went all the way down to the small one, and then she was just holding out the palm of her hand with the small one in the middle of it, and she was showing me this. So I don't know the significance, but I feel when I get these obscure pieces, when someone investigates it and digs into it, it often means something quite significant. So that will be interesting. But anyway, I'll go on to the next bit, because that does link into the Russian dolls, but still doesn't conclusively give me what the Russian dolls bit that she's showing me means. And then I see the words Russian doll. I see the word Russian doll again, and then I see the name Stuart, and his name was Stuart Campbell. I don't know why, but ever so briefly I'd seen a flash of mountains, and then I see the word Canada. Very random, I don't know what that's linked into. I see the word afraid. I'm seeing darkness, just complete darkness. I was then seeing the red car again, which I am sure these cars that I'm being given in 2024, I was given way back in whatever year it was when I was beginning this investigation. I'll pop the year in there. I'll need to find out what year it was I started, because it was around the time I just covered her story originally. So this car is turning from red and morphing into a blue car, and then it's morphing back into a red car, and it felt like, and I'm sure I was given back then, there was two cars. So I'm swearing at you. So I don't know if there was two cars used in the moving her about or moving evidence about, but that's what I'm seeing, or connected to him, the uncle, or people involved who helped him. And then I was seeing the boot of the car open, and Danielle is showing me what looks like black sacks being thrown into the boot of the car, and then the boot being slammed shut. I see the word dark, and I actually feel, I'm not sure if I've had this before, but actually like the movement of the car. That's weird, how can you feel that? But it was that movement and sensation as if I was in a car and it was moving. So that means to me, when I look back at it, that, or even in the time, that this car it's going somewhere. And again, throughout I was picking up that there was a map, you know, it didn't just be in one spot and then there it was travelling about, whether that was with body or evidence, or even when she was alive. Because at some point I did get a feeling that she was possibly, you know, still alive. I don't know, but we'll get onto that as we go through. Yeah, that leads me on to this next point of what I'm seeing. Just check my notes. That I then see what looks like an allotment and a shed, and she's holding the back of her head and she's in the shed. So I don't know if she was alive at this point, or she's just symbolically showing me that, you know, there was something wrong with the back of her head. I don't know if there was a hit to the back of the head, but she's holding the back of her head. And then she puts on glasses and then takes them off, and then puts them on and takes them off, and they're clear rimmed glasses. So I don't know if she had visual problems and had to wear glasses, or she's trying to show me that maybe it was to do with whatever on the head. If it was a bang, that caused like visual impairment, like she couldn't see properly. I'm then shown in this shed, what it looks like in a shed is a potato sack. You know those old, like, what was they made of? Straw? String? It wasn't plastic, you know, like material. I see the words behind, and I see the words tin. Then I was seeing a small tin, like a metal tin. I'm then seeing a knife, and I'm seeing like cutting off her hair, some of the hair. So I don't know if it's a literal sense of showing me what happened, or just showing me about having some of her hair. And I was given like taking some of her hair and hidden it. That's what I was being shown, and that's what I felt as well, that he and I may have mentioned this earlier in the video, but he yeah, I feel that he had taken, I'm going to say definitely taken some of her hair, whether it was when she was alive or after she'd gone. But that's what I've seen and been shown anyway. I see the word garden, and then the word handful. I see him, the uncle, in what looks like a shed again, maybe a different shed, but he's in a shed, and he's holding this clump of hair. It's quite a lot of hair, I'd say. And he's holding it and feeling it, you know, like smelling it and reminiscing about her, and maybe the events that had occurred. I then see the word granddad. I see the word house. I see the words burn and evidence. I then see someone digging a hole in the ground, like in the dirt. And then I see a small red book being placed into the dirt, like it's been hidden. There may have been other things that were buried too, but this was like the main specific image that I could clearly see. I see the word evidence, and it was looking like a garden, but it could have been allotment, because again they scooped me from different places really quickly. Could have been the same place, but it looked like a garden to me. Also, I remember getting and just looking at my notes that it was possibly not his garden, it was someone else's garden. I see the words grandpa and I see the word house. I also see an old fashioned washing line. In England you have these, or you used to have, or some houses still have them, gardens, big old poles and a line that went across, and you could pull it up high into the sky. So I see that. And I see the word again, hair. I see the word and I see the image of a telescope, you know, things that you look through. I see the words kids and girls. I see some bushes visually, and then I see the word voyeur. And voyeur is someone who likes to spy and look on people, and they kind of get a bit of a thrill from it. That's what voyeur means, I believe. I see this a couple of times, but I think this is the first time I see it. I see a kite, like an old-fashioned triangle one, and it's multicolored, flying up into the sky, and then it crashes, like flies down and crashes on the ground. I see the word kite. I don't know what the significance of this kite is, but it does come up again. I think it's towards the end of the reading. I see a playground. So I don't know if there was a playground nearby to this shed or this allotment or this garden. I felt like she'd visited here before, and I felt that there were other kids too that would have visited there, so perhaps family members. Sorry, I've had this fan going. I've just realised. So that's been a bit noisy. Let's turn that off. And next door's back, so it might get a bit noisy again, which I'm a bit annoyed about. But I just want to finish the readings for you now, because it's been a long time, you know, waiting to get this all done. I think Danielle is also keen to get this out there, you know, rather than waiting another 2-3 years or whatever it's been. So I did the spirit box with the dictionary, the words again, and these are the words that I got. Spirit box words for success. It's bright, I'm behind you, help me, gasp, are you okay, goodbye. Often with these EVPs, I've heard from other people, or spirit boxes and dictionaries and things like that, is that they see a light, spirits see a light, so that could be what that means, I think. Or this could have been trying to explain kind of the passing or something of a person sort of into spirit. I had to put the fan back on, but I put it on low, so hopefully it won't interrupt. Let's carry on with the recording. So this is from the EVP recordings. I may slip some of them in there, but I don't know if it's the app that I'm using. I would love to have like a proper big spirit box to do the EVP sessions with. But again, sometimes you have lots of them coming through. I tried it before and it was just lots of chaos. So I made sure that the next time that I did it, this is where you hear voices and they're being recorded in real time. Yeah, the next time I remembered, I tried to set it up better so it was more secure, if you like, to keep others out. So anyway, I'll go through what I thought that I heard. I may slip in some of the recordings, but it's really hard to hear. You have to put it into another app that then increases the volume or clears it up so you can understand better. I've got quite an ear for it, but yeah, so I might slip some of those in, I might not, but I'll just read out for now what I thought that I heard or possibly heard. Can you hear? Nan here. Christian or Chris here. Couldn't quite work that out because it's got like an echo on the end. Me and George with Jesus. Her will answer. She is Thurver. Major. Daniela. I thought you began. I was asking some questions in between. Can Daniela communicate? Can she come forward? So they're obviously saying, oh, I thought you'd already begun, you know, like I'm here kind of thing. for you began. It's around. And I asked here what he kept of hers. Took her ring or her earring, it sounded like. I'm not sure if it was earring or ring. It's easy to misunderstand when it's not clear. And also it sounded like her hair and my hair. So that kind of backs up what I was getting and seeing. Again, I'm also not 100% confident with it, because sometimes I think you may be listening and turning it into what you want to when it sounds like it. I wish I had fabulous equipment so I could make it all clear and understandable, but I think I've put down the clearest ones that I could hear. I want to see her, or sees her. Again, I couldn't quite understand that sentence. Find me, I understood that. My Tom Brown or drown her. I think it may be more drown her than Tom Brown. Tom Brown, drown. It sounds similar, doesn't it? Going to deep or to sleep. Tell them I love their hammock, it sounded like to me. Someone was saying, can you bring her through? Again, it's multiple spirits, it's not just one. He ring, 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 and then he has ring. Tricked grandmother, where he hid the tin. He was. He did throw her down. He was in or she was buried. Green, mist, in the ground, and then down, down, down. It's down, down, down. It's Daniella's uncle. Help find Daniella. And I got that quite a lot, not only in the visuals, which I'll go through more, but also seeing, also the words repeating down, 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 or seeing the words down, down, down. Next, I asked, is there a message for her mum? So again, just to remind you, we're on the EVP, which is in real time, but I'm recording it, and then I sort of clean up the noise a bit to try and hear. And it sounded like happy birthday, and it was from a younger girl, it sounded, and also there was an older female there, so I don't know if a grandmother's passed over, I don't know, I haven't googled that bit, but it was like a grandmother type voice, like an older woman, and that's the feeling I get. Could be great grandmother, but it could be, you know, her mum's mum or her dad's mum. Hard work, tower, tell it's underground. The jewellery, we found it. Family, van, down the manhole, find the bag. She is down, down, down. Dig deep, down beneath, the body's down there. And it was either Helen Murder or Helen Murder. I think there was a case for another girl who was found, who they may have thought was, but I don't think it was the same name. But anyway, that's what it sounded like. Sky, ringing, ringing, her behind the fence, trying, find the red shoes. These red shoes came up a few times. They used to call each other, behind the sea, the fort, the cold, her down, 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 it's so cold. Daniella chokes, it sounded like that word. It was strong or wrong, couldn't quite understand exactly which word it was. She's going in the ground, followed her home, swallowed. 38, and then there was a word beginning with C, but I couldn't make that word out, but it was definitely someone saying like the numbers 38. Past the hills or past the hills, towards the sea, a woman's voice, a bit younger, but still older than Daniella, from the data. And the spot that I looked up, because I kept feeling that it was sewage pipes. I kept seeing these huge concrete pipes and seeing her going down a pipe. And I remember last EVP, way back, there was voices talking about going down and being put down, and there was this creepy voice saying down she goes. You know, I don't think it was the most positive spirit on that occasion, but on this occasion I felt it was all kind of helpful, positive ones. But even when they're not being helpful, they're just being horrible sometimes because they can't help themselves. They give information then too. But I remember that, and all I'm seeing is tunnels and, you know, underground, and it being like really, really deep and being thrown down, and there's water and sewage. And I remember thinking sewage works before, but anyway, this spot, you know, because I was being given and also feeling that it was between sort of the Dartford Bridge and East Tilbury, and I've been given the word fault, and I've been seeing sewage works, and right next to the sewage works you've got Tilbury Fault. So as you're looking on, say, from the sea, not that we'd be sitting in the sea, but if you're looking on that way towards it from the sea, you've got the fault on, it's on the left hand side, and I'm sure I was given the left hand side earlier in parts of the reading as I'm going through it now. And then you got the sewage works, and then I did Google, and there's this pipe, it looks like a big pipe going into the sea, but you can't zoom in and get close enough to see if it's big enough to walk through, but that's what you can see. And also there's a bridge, there's a metal bridge that goes across the sea near to the sewage works, and there's also big looks like a factory, you know, big tower, don't know what they're called, but it looks like a factory. So these are all things that have come up and that I'm visually seeing, and that are coming up in the EVPs and words and things. I see the kite again that I see before, this triangle one, multicolored, and it's flying up to the sky again. I don't know the relevance of the kite, but I feel that it is quite significant to either a connection to her or you know, like a memory. And I've drawn the image in my notes, a bit rough, but I will put a shot of that up there for you to see. So again, we're walking forward as a team, and we're holding hands, opening doors, you know, getting prepared. I think this might have been a different day, this bit, or later on in the day. I haven't put a date down, but it was a next session, if you like. And as I look down, or I'm being drawn down, I see a ring on her right hand, and it's got a black stone in it with like little diamantes around it, like little fake diamonds. I don't think they were real diamonds, they may have been, but that's, I just assumed they were like squartz, what they call Schwartz. Actually, I can't say the word, but those Swarovski, I can't say the word, but those diamonds anyway. And then I see the words promise ring, and I was feeling that sense of who's got her ring. She's fiddling with the ring as well, she's kind of turning it on her finger. I see the word birthday, and I see the word burden. Doesn't mean those two are connected, but those are the words that I see. Again, I'm in the silver boots, and she is in what I've been seeing all the way through, in these red pumps. What they look like pumps to me. They're not like trainers. I don't think they are. They look more like pumps, but they are red flats. I see the word solidarity. So for me, that represents, you know, we are doing this together. Again, we are doing this as a team. We're strong as a team. We walk through one of the golden doors, and we walk out into like smoke. It reminded me of Stars in Their Eyes, a really old show. If you haven't seen it, Google it. When the contestants came out to be whoever they was going to be, they'd walk out to like a smoke machine. So it's like a cloud of smoke, and that's what it reminded me of. Her hair is straight again, and it's long, and she's got it down. She loves her hair, and again she does that a lot, like flicking it like that. And I remember seeing her grandmother there. I think she was there for support and strength, again, because it's difficult for them to revisit these things. Then it changes, and then we're walking along a metal bridge, and I actually remember hearing the clanging as we're walking along this metal bridge, you know, our feet on top, the sound, especially if I was wearing boots, silver boots. And as we're still holding hands, just, you know, still teams, still, you know, supporting each other. And as we're walking along, we come to a second door, and this is a black shiny door. I think it was the second door by now, but I go through so many doors when I'm doing this, but usually they're gold, but this one that I see was put there for me, and it was black and it was shiny, and it had a silver doorknob. And I put extra cloak on me, a gold one, because I already had a white one on, and a golden cloak on her for protection. For I just felt we needed that extra protection at that point. I also see some metal steps near the bridge, and I'm sure when I googled stuff afterwards to see if I could find things similar in the location that I think it is, I'm sure there was some metal steps there going up this bridge that goes over the sea near this area. I see the word pier, and I see up in, you know, blue skies, and I see clouds. So it was a nice day. Then it changed into weather-wise, and then we were standing at the edge of the pier or bridge or whatever it was, something like a cross between two, and we were looking out to sea, and we was also looking up at the sky. So we're through the back door now, and then we're just walking into darkness. It then changes, and I see Daniela standing in the huge, which I'd seen before, like concrete tunnel, and she's standing. It doesn't necessarily mean it is in reality as big as this, but it could just be showing me symbolically, so it stands out. But it's huge, and she's just standing there, and she's looking out to sea. Her back's to me. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, she'd had on a black coat with silver studs on. I felt that this was a favourite jacket of hers too, and it does come up later on in the reading. And again, she was only wearing trousers, and I've not seen her in anything else yet. So yeah, maybe she did love wearing trousers. So she's wearing the trousers, the pumps, the red pumps, and I can see, like, I'm looking from behind her, and she's facing, her back's down, she's facing out, and I can see that the sea's partly out. And then I see the word safe. So I think what she was meaning was it was safe for us to kind of navigate that space at that time, because the sea was partly out or going out, like the tide. I see the word morning, and it's sunny, and it's like a cool sea breeze blowing. I see the word float. I see a boat in the water that's not too far from where we are. It's a small boat, and I have drawn a picture of it in my notes, so I'll pop that up there. And it's like blue, I can see blue at the bottom and white at the top, and it's anchored in to the sea. And as you're looking out at this boat, its sort of nose of the boat, if you like, would be facing towards the Dartford crossing that way. But that's how it's positioned in these, what I'm being shown, visions. I then see the moon shining across the water, so it's become dark, but it's really bright. And again, I looked up the dates around when she went missing, and I don't believe it was a full moon then. So yeah, again, the word moon came up, and I've seen the moon. So yeah, I don't know what the significance there is, but I'm just giving you what I see. Two men are getting out of the boat, and then they are dragging something along, like the seabeds, the mud, and they're doing it as though they're acting, you know, quickly, fast. This has to be done quickly. And they're dragging it towards this large tunnel opening which is right on the sea, almost partially. And I imagine when the tide comes in, the water would from the sea would go into it. And she was feeling sad at this memory and this knowing of what they're doing. And then I see the word discarded. I see the word flatbeds. But then when I googled it, there isn't, I don't think the seabeds are called flatbeds. So I don't know what that means. Maybe they got the word wrong for seabed, or maybe it does mean something to do with the sea. I don't know. I need to Google that a bit more. And as they're going along and dragging along, whether it's evidence or the body, I, see that it's challenging for them to do this. It's not an easy feat. And again, I sense that the body was moved more than once at this point in the reading. And then I see the word twice. I'm seeing the shed again. I'm being shown the shed again. And then I'm seeing the word trace. And then I was seeing the allotment again, or what looks like an allotment. It could be someone's garden who just has lots of vegetables and looks like an allotment. I'm not sure. Or it could be two separate places. I don't know. But that's what is being shown. And again, I feel that they're showing me the trail of where the body or evidence was moved. And then I'd see the word reason, trail, and consequences, those words. And someone is covering for someone. That's what I felt like. There's someone who is most definitely covering for someone. It might be more than one person covering. They could be covering for the other man that helped. Could be their partner or relative, or, something like that. I see the words down, down, down. This keeps coming up. And I'm just like, I can't work it out. But I think that's because it was so deep. It might be multi-level. If it goes down like a pipe, could it end up going into different bits and different parts? Or if it's to do with sewage works or by the sea? Yeah, that would be interesting to find out if that's factually correct. And also I was getting that no one would look here, and that they carefully thought this out. Where can we put her or evidence? I feel it's her body, that no one would look. It's not really a safe place to look. People wouldn't really be just wandering down the sewage works or along there. I was then shown the uncle fishing and him fishing with friends, that they know this area and they know this spot well, because as kids, growing up around there, they would have, explored this area and adventured and gone places that you probably shouldn't. I'm seeing the word Brian. I'm going to say again, because I think I've had this name before, even in this reading or when I did the reading way back. And then I see the word May. I'm seeing white letters and numbers printed on a concrete, what looks like a concrete pipe to me. I see 38 and the letters LB. I see the word code. I'm seeing a toilet being flushed, and this could be symbolic towards, where it is, like sewage works, sewage pipes, all that kind of area that I've been picking up on. It could also be symbolic to, like, she was just flushed away and discarded. I see the word earth and I see the word dig. I see men digging, and I see that they need to dig deep. I see the words look for signs and dig deep. So what I was being shown was, and what I'm remembering, is that it's deep down, and they may actually have to climb down. I'm terrible at measurements and distances and numbers and things like that, but it's much further than 6 foot. It's way down in the ground. Because you'd think with, like, burying a body, if they're digging just in earth, it would be like probably no more than 6 foot. But this is way more deeper. I see the word cover. I see someone climbing down ladders that are attached to walls. So it could be a cover to kind of a pipe or something that you have to lift up. And then it turns to Daniella's climbing down these metal steps. It's dark and she's wearing like a workman's safety hat and she's got like a light on there. I see the words wet, I see the word water, and I see the word smell. She's then wearing a big workman's type puffer jacket. I see the words walls and I see the word slimy. I see the word green. I'm then shown like green slimy stuff on the walls, and then I'm seeing lots of seaweed. I then see men, like they look like workmen to me, in like really long waders, and I see the word sewage. These men are searching, that's what I'm seeing and feeling. And then I see the word find, and I see the word no easy feat. I see that professionals are going to be needed to do this job. I see the word dangerous and waders. I see bare feet in mud in the dark. And again, where are her shoes? That feeling, where are her shoes? She doesn't have any shoes on. That's what she's showing me. I see the words piece of the puzzle. And then I'm visually seeing someone put in a piece of a puzzle in a puzzle. You know, like it's nearly completed, it's nearly finished, this puzzle that I can see. I see like glow sticks, you know, like those dance you take to raves, and then they're turning into long sticks, lights that these men are carrying underground, and they're walking through tunnels and like passageways. And I see the word workman. I see the word find and discover. I see the words orange jackets, yellow jackets. But I'm mainly seeing these men wearing orange jackets and waders with, yeah, big boots on as well. And it swaps from this scene, and then she's showing me she's eating what looks like a strawberry sponge, like a strawberry jam sponge with custard, and she's feeling, you know, better, like she's needing comforting. It's quite a contrast from what we was looking at, but I think that's what she does, you know, to when she was alive, for comfort, and also in this situation, remembering it was like comfort for her. I'm given the name Julie, someone making her, you know, puddings and desserts, and this made her happy and it makes her happy. I'm getting a bit emotional thinking about it. Although I've already done the reading, it's just, yeah. I'm seeing a 3-tiered layered cake, and I'm seeing the number 18. It's a multicoloured looking cake. I see the words grandma, and I see Daniella dancing again. She's wearing the black jacket again with the silver studs, and yeah, she absolutely loves this jacket. And they're joking to me, and they're saying it's her Michael Jackson jacket. I'm shown a monkey, which is then turning into, like, I'm shown a real monkey and then it's turning into a teddy bear monkey. And then I'm seeing the word bubbles. I know Michael Jackson, however you feel about it, this still might just be a memory for them connected in. And he did have a monkey, didn't he, called Bubbles. So I don't know if she had like a teddy bear or something, a monkey teddy bear, or they used to joke that she should get one. I see the words birthday celebrations. She's letting off party poppers and she's like happy, joining in the celebrations. I see the word Dan and then Dan. And I know her name's Daniella, so I suppose that would have been shortened. Her name would have been shortened, like nickname wise, Dan or Dan. Seeing the number 18 again, and she's celebrating. It might not be a birthday, it might be some other kind of celebration, but she's definitely celebrating what it feels like with family and friends. And she does that flick again with her hair. And it's all straightened and long, and she's loving it. She loves her beautiful hair. And then I see the words her pride and joy. So that validates that for me, that what I'm seeing, you know, She absolutely, yeah, she loved her hair. I see the words playing hairdressers, and I see the word Ruby. I don't know if it's a name connected to a friend or something. And then at this point, the connections fading now, and I know the session's coming to an end. And at the end, I'm getting emotional again. At the end, I see a big colourful rainbow, and I see the words somewhere over the rainbow. And then Daniela is actually walking over this rainbow like a bridge, and she's waving goodbye. I then see that same kite again, and it's flying up into the sky, which was lovely. And then I see a quick flash of the black and white cat again, and then that's the end of the session. So that's the end of me spiritually investigating this case. It's not the end of the story, by no means, and I will share this information with authorities. You know, they'll probably laugh about it, joke about it. They don't take this seriously, and I completely understand that. Why would you if you get all these crackpots giving information, or you don't believe in anything like that? I totally get that, but out of a sense of duty and hopefully in a sense of helping to find her remains and bring those back to her mum and dad for a proper funeral and a proper goodbye and a proper ending to the story, I feel I should pass those details on to authorities, even if it means me looking like a complete whack job. But if you do know anything, and anything does ring true, that some of it's going to be in the public domain, but I feel that there will be quite a lot that's not, and if people could clarify that, if they know about her, or you know, the symbolism, the images, or these places even. I was definitely getting that area that I described between East Tilbury and Dartford Tunnel, and then the fault and the sewage works, which are right next to this pipe, this huge pipe, and the sewage works, and there's a fence. That was what I was also getting. That's just been flashed into my mind. I kept getting the fence and a fence, and I was thinking, what fences would be along there? I only remember from childhood there being like walls. I don't think we ever walked along that far, but the Thames is just huge walls. But when you Google Earth and you zoom in around the sewage works, there is a fence all the way around where the sewage works are. So that might be what that's connecting into. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to connect and see if anyone does know for definite. Maybe their husband or someone works for the sewage works, so they can clarify bits of information and what would happen if they were put down the pipe. You know, with you walk into that big pipe and then there'd be another pipe that you can put them down, or from, you know, I don't really know how the logistics of that would work, but I just can only give what I'm given, and I hope and I pray that this brings some peace, clarification, and finding her remains and bringing her remains home. Of course, she's in heaven, she's happy and she's peaceful and she's settled. You know, she's not in a dark place or anything, or down a sewage pipe. You know, your remains is your body, what you leave behind. But I think for the family and also for the police investigation, because I know he keeps trying to get out of prison and keeps appealing against it, I think to bring peace to the family would be the main outcome that I wish for. And the remains to be found. But if they are not found, because that was also a dilemma of mine, you know, I want to put this out and then they are never found, I like to feel that she's told part of her story and given some messages across, and hopefully some of that would bring some comfort for some people, or bring some light, some information. But then that's the end of that investigation for me anyway. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being here, and keep tuned, keep up to date. I'm going to be doing more investigations, and I'm going to be doing more spiritual readings and tuning in also to more day-to-day things. So thank you and much love.